Leaf, and 70% was that. I just saw, predicting OpTic Gaming. I think that's maybe a little bit generous a cheese, but you can see why they would expect them to be the favorites.
Yeah, I mean, OpTic does genuinely have a lot of fans as well, but I definitely put this one a little bit closer to, you know, the 60-40, you know, that kind of area. But either way, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully OpTic feel well enough to put on a good show and don't have to fight for major contention, but AJ gets tied up on the post at the start of this one, and he cannot make a save here. This is tough.
If you're feeling ill, you're struggling, the last thing you want to do is give away a goal 13 seconds in, and that's exactly what's happened to OpTic right there. A little bit of a lapse in concentration, perhaps, early doors, still trying to get those early judders away, because there is so much pressure on this regional. These players, each and every one of them achieves, will have dreams of making it to Rotterdam, but they have to do well in this Swiss and the playoffs after that.
Yeah, just a really tough first pill to swallow, but Reynolds making it right back just off the wall. A big challenge from the side, giving them a chance to get right back in it, but it does kind of feel like maybe OpTic a little bit slow to start off the day, and can't say we're too surprised about that per se, but Complexity definitely a driving pace of play at the moment.
Ooh, there was a miss there from Magic Bear on the pre-jump. I really thought he had the read on that huge booming clearance towards Raceball from CRR. Wasn't quite to be, and his teammates had to scamper back just to keep them alive. That's a brilliant 50-50 from AJ, showing off his 1v1 skills there. And Magic Bear tries to put it in the center, so after a slow start, OpTic are definitely improved. They're looking all right now. I think they just needed that early goal to go against them, just to shake any nerves off.
They're still trying to press a little bit there, but finally they run out of pieces to keep throwing towards the board. And now they're kind of just seeing if they can get some boost steals. Come away with a touch. Unfortunately, they have to give a lot of ground there. That miss is tough to hold possession with that. AJG wants the top right, and he's just a little off the mark.
Good to see CRR getting involved as well for Complexity. It must be such a huge culture shock for him to have to come over to where he's living right now, play with Complexity. It's just so different when you've moved over from Spain, from Europe to North America, and he's settling in relatively well. You know, he's made a few tweets saying that he's a little bit disappointed with the results that they've had, but it's not easy. You're going to have to struggle. If you're going to make a major, you're going to have some losses along the way. They've been racking up those wins, but Magic Bear could be racking up a goal right now for OpTic. Not quite. They're defending well, the Complexity.
Just realized CRR also on the dominance today. He feels like hitting the ball with force and verve is the way to success.
And double flip resets apparently as well from CRR, as you were talking about his dominance. Any upcoming pros watching right now, that's why you want to use the longer vehicles. Gotta love them. I mean, they're not actually the best for flip resets, but mechanically, everything you do in a dominance looks better, is the point I'm trying to make.
It does look nicer, I will say.
Yeah, you can concede that one.
Sleek look.
At the very least. Some of these attacks from OpTic are starting to look a little bit sleek themselves, so that pass from Magic Bear was perhaps a little bit wayward. His teammates were rotating back, and he's tried to pump it forward, but Complexity, CRR, finds Raceball, then gets the bump as well, and it ends up being Raceball's goal.
Man, I didn't think CRR was going to be able to get this. I thought he'd be disappointed since that touch. I thought he was trying to get it to come straight down, but it actually ended up working out because as he dismounts, he just catches a big bite of the OpTic defender and ends up making him own goal. So cool, you'll take it.
I feel like that's the most frustrating sort of bump to receive that Reynolds just had. It wasn't one that sent him all the way across the other side of the map.
Yeah.
It wasn't a demo, just a little nudge on him, enough to make him score an own goal. And that's all history will remember.
Fortunately for OpTic as well, haven't really been able to really get the strong grip onto this one. Reynolds able to make a snap save. CRR with a chance. Wants the reset, and good stop again. Reynolds coming across the line one more time.
I mean, we talk about a culture shock. The one thing CRR has definitely been able to fit right in with his Complexity teammates regarding is the love of flip resets that, you know, when Raceball first became a name that everybody talked about, he was the one who was going for a flip reset every single time, but there's so much more than that. It's passing plays as well. Complexity starting off so strong in this series.
Big gap found here from AJG. Magic Bear, I don't think he expected that clear to come off so clean. He was playing a little bit tighter, thinking it was maybe going to drop into the corner or go up off the ceiling and he'd be able to dish that middle, but leaked out over everyone and CRR in the gap. Nice redirect.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's looking like OpTic are just a little bit toothless in this first game. Complexity with a minute and a half left have only made one save. They've been forced into one. And look how many clean touches Complexity are getting in the air. You cannot allow them to do that and expect to not concede goals against them.
CRR, just doing his best to buy a little time, not give OpTic anything in the final minute or so here. If you're OpTic, I mean, I think you kind of resign yourself here. Down 3 with 1 minute. Kind of just have to say, okay, let's see if we can just get one on the board at least. Feel like we can find a foothold somewhere on this pitch to get started. And AJG's just saying, come get it. If you want it, you got to take it.
Oh, no. Poor AJ getting double fakes twice in a row. Whether you're 3-0 up or 3-0 down, that's got to hurt just in the individual moment right there. Probably won't affect the first game too much, but it's another mind game that's been won by Complexity, another moment that's gone their way. And so far, all the big ones achieved in this first game have gone their way.
Definitely done a great job putting a lot of pressure on players individually in some tight spots. Because it's not like any of these chances from OpTic have been, you know, like, okay, they absolutely got him. Perhaps except from the CRR redirect where he was just in the gap. Couldn't really do too much about that. But the rest has kind of been cool. Here's a ball in the corner. We managed to get back behind it. And now we're coming through the goal line, trying to get bumps, really trying to put the pressure on you, see if you make a mistake. And they've executed wonderfully on that game plan. And it's definitely thrown OpTic for a bit of a loop here at the start.
I mean, even just now, there was a misread from AJ on his goal line that didn't lead to a goal for Complexity, but it's the perfect start there for Complexity. 3 goals. In truth, it could have been at least 1 or 2 more as well. They had 9 shots in total compared to OpTic Gaming's 3. So a dominant first game performance from Complexity. They'll be feeling goodly. Sorry, I've caught you mid-yawn. I'm sorry, mate. I threw you in. I look over and I see your little face just going...
It's fun because I was gonna say either NA has depth or everybody's sleeping right now, and I guess maybe it's the sleeping one. But no, it's close matches across the board. In all honesty, Energy did take their first one, but only with a 1-goal win over Axel. Dignitas took their game over G2 in game 1. Again, 1-goal difference. PK FaZe, they're tied coming into 0 seconds right now, potentially overtime. Okay. So I think that's a team that we're not talking about enough, in all honesty. Pittsburgh Knights lately have been just on a tear, and especially going head-to-head right now with FaZe is
FaZe.
Phenomenal right now. And V1, another team we're looking out for, they're up 4-2 right now, but they're not done game 1. But yeah, pretty close across the board.
How could I forget about Axel? I backed them so much in in the last regional. They unfortunately didn't make it all the way through, but good show versus NRG in round 1. But game 2 here, you really just want to see OpTic get the wheels turning on offense a little bit. Feel like they've got something going here, but right now you got to look out for the pressure from OpTic. AJG is able to go inside out and make the stop.
The one thing I've learned from EU Achieves is never to get attached to a team, because they can look the best in the world. Yeah, they'll disappoint you, or someone else will emerge and beat them, and they'll make them look a little bit average. It's like, oh, I thought they were really good a couple of weeks ago. What changed right there? But I mean, Rocket League can change even within one series, and OpTic were not at the races in this first game. They'll have to be much better over here on Aquadome in game number 2, but there's already 50 sets coming in. It's beautiful attack, and it's 1-0 again to Complexity.
This is such a well-timed approach. Razebull doing a great job to delay that touch, let him get closer, buy more real estate over onto the orange side, nail the flip reset, put the pressure, the physicality comes through on the goal line, and everyone gets tied up trying to make a save. And AGG has the world to pick from.
Pretty much a perfect attacking approach, and I think that's what OpTic have to make themselves believe, that wasn't them being slow or poor. That was just a really darn good play from their opponents. Yep. They happen, and they can pick themselves up, can OpTic straight back to it, try and find their game, try and get AJ on the ball. You know, where are his mechanics? We haven't seen them. Try and get Rettles. He got a huge dunk in the first game, but other than that, he's been quiet. Magic Bear, who came into such acclaim and showed what he was capable of mechanically, he's barely been involved as well, whereas Complexity, a couple of passes, and they are slicing right through them.
Oh, is that why CRR played the dominance today? So he can just get these redirects and hit it as hard as he can? 82 miles an hour from the sidewall. Magic Bear outpaced all the way. Boomer.
Massive. A more variety of goal as well for Complexity. We had the 3-player approach using a flip reset, and now we've just got one incisive pass, which we had in the first game as well. Complexity are just mixing up their approach every time. They're through now with a dribble. Surely this is going to be in, and it is. Huge from Complexity.
Oh, did AJ get tied up? Did he see AJG behind the ball and not think CRR was going to get back behind it and tip it left? I mean, without watching it from his camera, I'll never know, but I can't see any world where, you know, AJ just gets beat to the outside like that without seeing CRR coming.
I mean, what we definitely do know, Chief, is that is now, well, it was 6 unanswered goals for Complexity right there until OpTic Gaming just creak open a door that was beginning to look like it was shut.
Ooh, magic there. Nice little dismount with the backflip to make sure you score that. That was nice.
Well. Yeah, it was.
I don't know if they really needed it. It might have been inside post, but either way, you love to see that look. That's great.
I mean, as a reminder, OpTic are only 1 point away from the joint top 5 right now across 2 different regionals. This is not a bad team at all. Team apparently for some reason right now is struggling. Hopefully they'll step up after that goal and be inspired by it, but not if they attack like that. That is way too easy for CRR to come into the center. OpTic get away with it. Hopefully they'll learn from it.
Ooh, and Raisable with the continued press into the corner. I think Complexity really want to try and squeeze as tight as they can right now. CRR, a little bit of a fake challenge, just trying to draw people out so they can reset at the midfield line and force AJ to dump one away, but Complexity, it's a solid look right now. It's nothing special. It's just the testers, and they get caught again.
I love the fact that after this goal, AJG's car just stopped. It plonked down. I always love doing that when I'm playing Rocket League myself. If I put in a strike from my own half, just let go of everything, let your car with a little bit of momentum. You know, cool guys don't look at explosions. It's the Rocket League equivalent of that.
Yeah, there you go. Are you a gas brake celebrator as well?
I like to.
Shimmy?
No, I like to drive into the crossbar. That's my one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, old school, mate, old school. 4-1. Look at the speed that they're showing as well. They're just reading every touch that OpTic are making. I want to see OpTic take a few more touches close to themselves. Make sure they just stay behind the ball. A 50-50 game might be good for OpTic right now because trying to give Complexity the space is just not working.
I'm not too surprised that OpTic's under pressure. I just thought that the counterattacks would be perhaps a little bit more effective for OpTic in terms of finding a way out and getting down the pitch, but it's actually in some ways been almost the exact opposite. I mean, it's a couple of goals from CRR, and that's a big mistouch, but it's okay. He's got a teammate there, but find CRR in the back just running through everybody, and he's the one running away down the seams and putting goals in the back of the net, and everyone going to be wondering, what if OpTic felt a little bit better? Yeah, regardless of whether or not it's an impact or not.
I mean, that was another lovely dunk there. CRR's pre-jumping from the raised ball pass. I feel like Complexity, the car body language that they're showing, it feels like they've won this series, in their opinion.
They feel it.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this. CRR's fake.
Oh my goodness.
He's going, what are you going to do with it, CRR? Go on, you got no boost. You don't need it, son. Just flick that ball in the top corner. 60% of people achieved predicted OpTic to win it. Oh, was it 70? 70%.
70s.
Predicted OpTic would win this one.
And that's, if y'all put channel points on it, tough.
Yeah.
Oh, is that 2?
Oh,
just missed it.
It could have been. Yeah, this is a bit of a slaughter that we're witnessing right now. But OpTic can do better. They can do so much more. We need AJ to take a touch.
Take the time. Yeah, take the time. Obviously, it's not every day that you have all the space right here, and AJ's trying to do just that, but execution is a lot to ask if you're not feeling maybe 100%.
But then that's where you want to play just your most solid game, right? Clean rotations, clean 50-50s, try and get in your opponent's space. Don't let them do this. CRR, he threatened one of these earlier. This one he wasn't missing.
Is that the move? I mean, just have CRR go challenge a ball in the corner, let it go to his teammate behind him, and say, hit me with the ball. I'm going to score. Or put it in a spot where it's very easy for someone else to score.
It reminds me a little bit of early Seiko with Endpoint, when he was always in that midfield position, and the amount of times there'd be a 45-degree pass towards him, and he'd get this sort of angled flip reset, and it would end up in the equivalent of that.
Well, he's got it again. Raise ball is I'm just, how often do you get to tip the ball straight up in front of the net of your opponent and then go back and get another touch?
That's a good question. I feel like not too often. Oh, another fake in the air. CRR's is going to kill this one, is he? Yes, he is. Winner. Woo! Complexity. Comfortably. Again. 2 very solid games there from CRR, AJG, and Raiseful. They are feeling very good. 8-1 on goals overall. Leaf, you're not yawning this time because that was a flawless game of Rocket League.
Yeah.
Well,
It's they're shutting down OpTic right now, that's for sure. And I did want to say, Cheese, you rate Axel, right?
I do like Axel, yes.
Well, you'll be happy to know they just took a game off NRG, so it's 5-1-1 now. Yeah.
Keep it up.
Yeah, and Shopify, by the way, had taken their first game against Furia. Right now, they're 1-goal difference. Furia's up in game 2, but that's a nice tight match across the board. Tight matches. Genji, of course, getting the dubs that we expect. And V1 looking like they know they have 2 series to win to clinch, and they're like, let's get on our way. It's 5-1 in game 2 against 26 Rising. So their first win should end up being a sweep here for V1.
nice.
OpTic in their own boat. I mean, got to pull out the big reverse sweep card. The only difference is I don't know if they've got it today.
Can I offer a bit of hope? A bit of hopium.
Yeah,
you can.
It was game
try.
5. It was.
I
game
predicted
5.
OpTic. I should be providing the hope.
Yeah, sorry. Okay,
you
you know
predicted complexity, but I'm glad you're doing it.
Okay, cheers. You can present that one to the people. It was game 5 the first 2 times these two played this season, right? So it'll be game 5. I don't know. I'm trying to help you out here. I'm trying to give you something to match
So you're
onto.
saying like it's okay. We're still going 5.
Yeah.
I know those first 2 were an absolute slaughter, but here we go.
Yeah.
It's all the way back.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to get. There we go. AJ's. Oh, okay. AJ didn't play as well, but that was nice. That was just a little bit of flair, which AJ has just unbelievable amounts of. Exactly. He does not lack flair. So good to see him trying to use it because OpTic haven't really been doing too much of what makes them them, and maybe that's what they need. They just need to keep on grinding, try and get, I don't know, maybe a fortunate goal or just 1 goal, take a lead. Give themselves a little bit of confidence. That's lovely. AJ's feeling it now, and OpTic are looking a little bit more alive already in game number 3.
Both Reynolds and AJ both do strike me as the type of players that, somebody on the team hits a big play, makes a good goal over a lot of defenders or something crazy, and everyone goes, okay, that was it. And now your AJ's pulling out all the stops.
Yeah.
Raise Bull with a great clear across the net. But he's definitely pulling out everything he's got in the bag of tricks to try and get this one going back the other way. Reynolds 1-on-2, and Raise Bull going to not let him go for free.
Yeah, I feel like AJ is without doubt the key man for OpTic right now. If he can just land one of these so near yet so far attempts that he's been making, maybe this is the one. He's up to the pre-flip. Can he get round this one for an extra touch? Not quite, but Rettles was trying to clear the path. Suddenly achieves. It's looking more like OpTic.
It's more what you wanted. I'm actually, you should be pleasantly surprised if you were for OpTic here. They've definitely been holding control here in this game. Unfortunately, AJ doesn't have the boost to continue that press, but they do get a lot of boost steals, so a lot of opportunity here for OpTic to stay on attack, but they end up losing possession. CRR positioned aggressively.
Yeah, I think that's what Complexity have to do, keep their aggression up against this somewhat resurgent OpTic, because if they back off too much, then suddenly OpTic might get their lead, might get their belief back. And 1 goal now for Complexity could really just ruin the spirit of OpTic. CRR's been involved in pretty much everything good that Complexity have done so far. It's Magic Bear that has the ball. Very quiet series from him. Rettles pre-jumps. CRR, a lovely first touch, then stalls in the air to lead up for AJG. And Rettles.
Oh, and they're through. My goodness. It's so funny how much people are willing to try and manipulate the timing on a lot of challenges because they know if we're through, we're in good shape. AJ cannot go through. AJG denies CRR. Magic Bear's going to come through, drop the hammer. OpTic finally out in front.
That is the shot in the arm that this series needs. AJ was the man to provide it. CRR almost got it free, then he almost got the block, but it was bundled home by Magic Bear. OpTic with a nervy lead, but they have played so much better so far in this game. Can they keep up this new level, this new gear that they found for themselves?
Certainly going to try, that's for sure. Nothing else has been working. And a lot of physicality coming through as well. Reynolds just missing the bump, and this is good. If you're OpTic, you don't want to let off the gas pedal and say, okay, let's try and turtle up, because you saw how the last 2 games went. It's not going to go well.
Oh, hang about the race balls onto the back foot, but AJ with a massive save. What a game he's had. And he clears the ball to his teammate Magic Bear as well.
Brilliant stop. Truly just predicting exactly the line that double tap takes. CRR to the middle, great pass, and AJ all over the passing lane. Again, great awareness.
AJ's having a monster series. 3 great shots from him. Now 2 huge saves. He could get this ball as well. CRR nipping in front. Important for Complexity. This game suddenly has all the life about it. Magic Bear has AJ in front of him. Razebull's trying to tackle him. It's a great challenge there from Razebull. AJ again in front of the goal line. Reckless isn't quite sure what to do. He's just trying to avoid Razebull and still get that ball into the center. And he's managed to do so. So good play there from OpTic when they had to do a little bit of defending. And now their star man, at least for now, AJ is on the ball.
Yeah, a little bit of retaliation, physicality coming from Complexity. They're trying to take away some of those extra tools, extra pieces in the backfield to kind of prevent OpTic from extending a lead.
That's a lovely pass there from Magic Bear. I feel like one of his OpTic teammates could have stayed a bit further forwards, had a bit more faith in Magic Bear. The pass was perfect.
Clock, such a factor. You get under a minute, and now you kind of start to think maybe we try and make sure we don't concede because, you know, you don't have any more lives left. You got to just go, and that could be a double commit. Oh, but it's too far for AJG. A little bit of a reset required here for Complexity.
I don't know about you, but I couldn't see anything with the demo. All I saw was the word boom big on my screen. So that was a pretty scary moment for somebody who wants this series to come back to life. That's a lovely pass. CRR, he doesn't want the series to come back to life. He wants to end it right here, but Rettles is charging in. AJ's up, the pass is back. He goes for the shot instead. So close for OpTic. Not quite to be, but they do have 10 more seconds. Razebull, can he launch one more attack for Complexity, or is this going to be OpTic's foothold back into the game? AJ catches. He swallows a few more seconds. CRR right wide to AJG. It's a great pass, but it's read by Rettles. AJ wants to kill this one. Actually forces the own goal, and it's going to be the game for OpTic, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, CRR kind of forced to try and take this one to the corner, and AJ, I'm not sure if he actually hit CRR either way, though. He did redirect it, forced CRR to tip it into his own net.
I mean, I'm glad that AJ got himself a goal. He deserved that for his performance, right?
What a show. I mean, that you said AJ's having a series. Well, he certainly had a heck of a game 3. A 535 score. Next in line, 194.
That's me.
He said, you know what? We're not going to get swept. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to play some good car soccer. Boy, did he.
Leaf, you know the meme where you lean forwards, you know, when you, as a gamer, you're like, this is where I'm going to start playing.
One. That
was AJ right there.
I did it last night in my games. I'm like, all right, we're not doing well. Let's lean forward. And my whole team, they're all like, all right, we got to do that too. It's true. You just play better when you lean forward. A couple interesting things, I guess, at this point. We do have, by the way, Rogue, who's playing with Corrupted G right now in place of Torgo, is they actually took a game off SSG. It's not looking too good in game 3 for them, but they did take a game off of them. And as we still sit on match point here, a couple other matches that are at match point. FaZe is up 2-0. They're tied right now in third game, but they're up 2-0 over PK. V1 and Gen G, interestingly enough, and their matches against 26 Rising and Sola is they have the exact same score lines in game 1 and 2 as each other, a 4-2 and a 6-1. You just don't see 6-1s often, and they both got game 2.
Not frustrating not to get the Brazil in either of those, but you got to take the 6-1. I think that OpTic would take a 6-1 here to force Champions Field in this series. But Cheese, at the start of the last game, I was saying to you, these ones always go to 5, and you were like, Are you starting to believe it? Are you starting to after that last game?
So there's a part of me that says, okay, there's hope. But here's the problem. You have to go right back out there in a fresh 5-minute set, and you got to hold the same level of control, and it didn't happen. 30 seconds straight Complexity boxing OpTic back into their own half, and finally a small gap on the left side. CRR going to drop the first one and say, nope, we're still in control here.
I mean, you ain't going to keep too many clean sheets against Complexity. That was unlikely to happen. So the fact that they've taken the lead, neither here nor there, is what I'm sure OpTic are telling themselves. But Razebull does seem to have been unleashed somewhat. And CRR has had a heck of a series. He shoots it into the corner. A massive save, though, from AJ yet again, the hero for OpTic.
Yeah, just get AJ anywhere you can on the ball. Sometimes, you know, just feed the hot hand. See what he can do for you. He might score this one. The beautiful bounce shot. Razebull makes a hero's effort. Magic Bear again going to come through and deliver the follow-up. What a play from AJ. Good grief.
I'm so glad that went in, so we got to see that setup from AJ again. But credit to Magic Bear. He was in the right position. He kept his eye on the ball, put it into the top corner to get OpTic right back in to game number 4 in Utopia. It's a good start from Complexity here, but OpTic have brought themselves right back in it, and now they've got some boost in the corner. Razebull up against Rettles. Rettles a huge challenge, and look how much faster OpTic are challenging. Rarely now do we see Complexity having a clean touch. Even scuttling back, they're getting bumped off the ball. So massive change in play style from OpTic, and it's working.
Yeah. It's shove forward, steal boost, get physical. If you get beat in the midfield, who cares? We got around 4 minutes to try and make it work. I can't say I blame him. I mean, that's a strategy that works out well in Magic Bear. Honestly, I feel like he deserved it. He actually understood where that clear was headed, and unfortunately just came off the wrong part of the car for him to put it in.
Agreed. You can see by the way he approached that one that he had at least an inkling and that deflection was going to go, but it's on the other end. Complexity still making passes of their own. They'll always be dangerous. And this ball is rotating out. So CRR's attempted pass is actually to himself. And he's made a lot from that 50-50 as well. Great play from him, but look at the speed from Rettles. Rettles has really stepped up in this series as it's gone on. He is the one who is breaking up Complexity's attacks so often.
Yeah, everybody on OpTic really kind of started off a little bit slow, but I think they all understood that game 3, they're like, yeah, we still got it. Let's go ahead and try and send it. And it is putting a lot of pressure on Complexity to now execute, and those mix-ups in the approach I think are a good idea for Complexity. You may catch OpTic leaning. Magic Bear tries to set up his third man, and here comes AJ, and AJG, he gets all twisted up on the goal line, can't figure out where he needs to be.
OpTic had to turn it around after going behind, and they've managed to do just that. AJG here, as he pointed out, achieves the backflip. Did not serve him well at all. I guess he was trying to stare AJ down, thinking you're going to put it in that corner, are you?
Yeah, I think because his initial guess, I think, was go up and block it, but he sees CRR coming off the backboard, and he thinks, oh, CRR has the challenge, so you hit the backflip to try and land and have a chance if it ends up coming through, but CRR didn't get a handle on it, and it's just no way back for him. But hey, AJG with an opportunity, CRR kind of going to need a lot of help if this one wants to go in, and nobody around for Complexity. Hunt for Reynolds.
Rettles is just seeing if Raiseball is going to miss that ball. He didn't quite, but AJG did miss it on the approach. So the transition not completed by Complexity, and OpTic can come forward again. There's a bit of confusion there on the goal line. No goals this time for OpTic, but that was an odd moment for them all.
He just sees CRR like boosting towards the ball into his own net as his teammates getting bumped, and you're like, oh no, not like this.
Ooh, lovely touch from him though. He lets Raiseball in. Great communication there from Complexity. AJG's approaching the finish. It's saved by Rettles, and saved well as well. Getting enough pace on that ball to send it out wide was not too easy, but the attack continues. CRR's in the center. It's just behind him. Complexity are too far forward. There's no pass. There's no way to use the momentum, and the attack, at least for now, comes to nothing. But maybe that changes this time again. CRR's too close.
Whoa!
Both OpTic players miss it. Raiseball finishes it, and it is 2-2.
A bunch of misdirection. You know, CRR with the pre-jump earlier can't connect. This time around, they regain possession in the midfield, and again, it looks like it's CRR, but the bounce is way over his head, so he lets it go, has his teammate sweep through the goal line. Third man arrives just in time. Complexity find an equalizer, and that was a tough sequence to handle for OpTic. I'm not surprised they got broken down there.
And now they've got to hold on for these last minute and 10 seconds or so. CRR's coming in, could be able to end it. AJG with the approach to finish it. AJ, though, saves it. He's still huge in defense for OpTic. Wants to go up the wall, but Complexity are wise to those tricks right now. They're also going for demos of their own. CRR was almost the victim, but he stayed tall and stayed strong. Great first touch from Rettles. Can he make the pass? OpTic stepping forward at the end. Magic Bear's going for the bump, but CRR, the early jump, will be enough to save him.
Oh, and the demo. That should be a free ball. I mean, OpTic, they're looking for every opportunity to take somebody off the ball and get themselves possession. Doesn't matter how awkward it seems to go for. Magic Bear trying to pull one down, and Raiseball is an absolute beast on the goal line.
How has he read that? There was so much power coming on that ball. Unbelievable save there from Raiseball. Keeps Complexity in this fourth game. Still can end it here, but Magic Bear sneaks round. End-to-end stuff in the dying seconds. Rettles is up, but he's sniped by AJ, who's still desperate for the ball. He still thinks it's last game, and that one should be saved by AJ again. Sorry, that touch completely threw me. Where did AJ come from? Anyway,
we might score.
We'll talk about that in a second, because there are still 2 seconds left before we even think about the first overtime in this series. Still has to hit the floor. OpTic are careful, and they do get their overtime.
Woo! You got to win this right here for Complexity. With how OpTic have absolutely flipped the switch, I don't want to play them in Game 5 right now. All bets are off too much. I mean, you absolutely smashed them in Games 1 and 2, but that type of play is out the window. AJG again pulls another one out of the hat.
Oh, that was scary from AJG, the last man forward, and he is playing so aggressively. Shows us perhaps the teams that they agree with you. They want to end it here, but they first have to defend the Complexity. Good save, good recovery. OpTic coming forwards again. Magic Bear this time. He's pumped it forward. Rettles going for the bump. No one's gone for the ball! And Magic Bear puts it away, and we are going to have Game 5.
What a touch from Magic Bear. CRR realizes he can't get to it, and Rettles knows. He goes, don't touch it. I'm just going to put it closer to them. So he's definitely trying to cover up, maybe get the bump. Initially, I think trying to finish the game, but big head on a swivel. He's thinking straight. Makes a good play to let that one go and have Magic Bear recover. Hit a nice bounce shot. OpTic going all the way back to 5. Cole, you're an absolute madman and a genius, and I love it.
Hey, look, sometimes hopium pays off. This was one of those moments. Leaf, is there any other hopium around the world of Rocket League in North America?
There actually is. The only 2 teams that have completed a sweep in their matches was Gen G and FaZe. Every other match has dropped at least 1 game to their opponents. In fact, G2 and Dignitas, Game 5 right now, with Dignitas up 2-1 with 2 minutes left. So G2 might be looking at a loss in round 1, and NRG and Axel in Game 5 right now.
Oh, God.
And I'll tell you what, as well, Leaf. Obviously, Complexity's players and OpTic's players will only be focusing on this series. But the fact that NRG, G2 potentially losing in 5, other teams are going to be starting to think, hey, there's a way we can break into that top 5 here. So there's a lot of interesting movements potentially happening in the rankings.
And I will also mention the Rebellion Furia game. It is also in a Game 5. I believe, and just started up, and it's 1 goal lead for Rebellion.
Why are you making us sweat round 1 Fall Invitational?
Yeah, curse you, Fall Invitational. This is what happens when it's an invitational. Every single team in here today has something to play for and to fight for. These are the 16 teams that have the most points up to now. The reverse sweep is on Achieves. OpTic Gaming looked down and out. They looked like a team that had nothing about them in the first couple of games. We do find ourselves here on Champions Field. Oh my goodness, an absolute wonder goal though from Complexity.
Pinpoint here, raise bull to AJG high on the wall, and this is so tough to read if you're Rettles. Honestly, he makes the right play. He has his teammate call him off. He knows he's going to go cover the top of the net. You're just really trusting that they come away with the touch. But you see what happens if they don't. You have no shot at the follow-up.
Raiseball is a man who had 6 saves in the last game as well. So no doubt a little bit of lingering frustration that perhaps went away when he slammed that ball in the back of the net to get Champions Field off to a bang for Complexity. Let's go into the corner.
Complexity finding that next gear as well here in Game 5.
Yeah, they stepped up on Utopia, didn't they? They joined OpTic, because OpTic were the first to jump forward, I feel.
Definitely. Games 3 and 4. OpTic said, here we come. And Complexity is finally settled into the new pace of play, and I'm curious to see how the next 4 minutes go.
I feel like this is how this match should have looked from the beginning. We didn't quite get that. We've got here the long way round, but finally it's Champions Field and all these players are playing well. Raiseball's going to spin that one long. As far as AJ, though, what a series AJ has had. He really has been the man who's got OpTic back into this one.
It doesn't really happen a lot where I feel like you see a player flip a switch. But this was definitely the series was like, okay, he decided he's going to press buttons to win the game. You know what I mean? It's like, it looked like a totally different AJ as soon as Game 3 started.
Good shot from Magic Bear. Oh, that's a little bit awkward. Good save in the end, though. I thought for a second it was nestling its way into the corner of the net, but not to be as far as OpTic is concerned. Raiseball's up for that one. Good challenge game from Raiseball. Good read on the OpTic clearance. And AJG again wants to get a decent challenge on AJ. Goes as far as Raiseball, but he's got no boost, so won't be able to do too much with this one, just to force OpTic out wide. And they can come forward again. Rattles with a little bit of a musty, and then a bump. Lovely play from him. Wants to get another bump as well. From him. Oh, but AJ, the saviour of OpTic so many times, misses an open goal.
he thought there was going to be a touch coming out, and unfortunately everyone missed, so his read ends up making it look like he has no idea how to shoot. And sometimes it's just not fair. Magic Bear one-on-one off the wall. Here comes Reynolds. He's got to score it, but he actually doesn't have a good line. It's Magic Bear again with the bump, and OpTic's going to tie it up. How do you keep finding people in position when it feels like the drive stalls out?
Yeah, OpTic, guys, there was a demo from AJG on an OpTic player, but it just didn't work for him. It took him out the rotation. I think his team needed him plonked there on the goal line instead of going for demos and trying to move forward. So maybe a little bit of over-attacking intent there from Complexity. And let's OpTic back in. They could be in again, but that's a great pass to AJG from CRR.
I just want to let you guys know V1 26 Rising is also now in Game 5.
Of course.
Of course. Wow, this I feel like this game day has really turned itself on after being a little bit slow at the start and seeming like we were going to get some 3-0s. So fair play to it. And fair play to OpTic here as well. Another demo on them to keep the attack going. A nippy little touch there from CRR. Magic Bear's in. Raiseball's going to surely catch this one. Slow it down. And suddenly achieves. There's only 1 minute and 50 seconds. This game has gone so quick.
So fast. I mean, it's been the, okay, who's going to get possession, and then it's bang, 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 try and play defense. And then you play the possession game again for a few touches, and then the other team takes all their pot shots at net. Magic Bear wants to hit an absolutely insane redirect, but comes up just shy.
Yeah, he was never far off there in that corner, but quite to be. CRR has missed that one. That was a big old whoops moment. But AJG, thankfully for Complexity, is right there. Raceball's coming forward. Got the only Complexity goals so far of this game, did Raceball, right at the start. It wasn't so good for them, but now they've got to get one more in the last 70 seconds. AJG leaves it to AJ, his almost namesake. CRR to the backboard. Raceball wants to come in, but actually leaves it. There's a good transition there from OpTic. AJG should be able to get this one past Rettles. It's tense right now. Both teams just waiting for that clean touch. This could be it. Rettles wanted to get in the way, you could tell, but he just wasn't quite in the right position.
I do feel like the most important thing right now in the final last minute is your clear game. If you hit one missed touch, oh boy, you better believe you're going to get all the pressure coming your way. You can't afford a mistake now on defense right here. AJG, great timing to suss that one out. And he may have a counterattack as Raceball's on the opposite side, but he actually doesn't have the boost to really get behind the ball.
That's a lovely pass, though, back to him from Raceball. But again, I think he still didn't have the boost, so he has to agonizingly leave that ball behind. Head back to pick up some boost. OpTic a little bit penned right now. Complexity keep coming forwards. AJG has got boost in the tank for this attack. Magic Bear, a lovely double touch though to send them back again, but it's looking like it's going to be Complexity seeing the game away on the front foot. Can Raceball find the pass to AJG? It's a little bit behind him. AJG does his best to make the most from it, but it's not too much. And now maybe OpTic can come forwards. Clearance. CRR one.
Oh, there he is!
Potentially, there's a good first touch, but AJ was on the backboard. Going to send it to overtime. No, Rettles catches it. AJG is clearance in the center, and that was close to an OpTic touch. But we do have, of course, Game 5 overtime.
Well, all of you OpTic channel points people, you knew it all the way. Here comes reverse sweep number 2, potentially. Complexity, do you have one more in you?
I didn't even think of that. The fact that the first time these two played this season, it was that reverse sweep at the end of the Swiss as well, when everything mattered so much more in Game 5, Series 5, sorry, of the Swiss. It'll feel important right now as Raceball makes a brilliant clearance. OpTic is still coming forwards. Magic Bear's got 26 boost to play with. What can he do with it? Not too much this time. So CRR up in the air. He's slowed down in the last few games as OpTic have stepped up.
I'm really wondering what the structure is going to be. Oh, misdirection from Reynolds. He's trying to slow it all down, taking a little page out of the V1 book from the last regional. Unfortunately, no one connects with anything. Raceball tries to close it out. It's off the mark. CRR chokes it. He does not line it up. He floats a weak one towards the net, and that should have been it.
If that wasn't Game 5 overtime, CRR would have slammed that into the back of the net. But here when the pressure is up, you're tempted just to make sure you don't miss. You don't hit it over and lead to a counter-attack. You have to take it confidently, CRR. Hopefully you've learned from that. Complexity will keep on coming. I wonder if CRR will get one more shooting chance. Puts it into the corner where AJG is waiting. Raceball now has 100 boost, but Rettles closes them down quickly. Magic Bear and Rettles. Raceball gets it past both of them. CRR slams that one in, but Rettles with a wonder save.
Oh, that's the thing. You've been gifted the extra life if you're OpTic. Now you feel like you can't lose. They gave you an opening. You got to be able to run with it. Weak touch from CRR. Riddles rightly leaving it for Magic Bear. Hoping for AJ. Down across to Magic Bear. They're going to close it out. OpTic Gaming indeed pull the miracle off.
Oh, Vic, where were you those first 2 games? Where was this version of you? So impressive to step up when they were playing, it has to be said, Achieves, really badly. They were really bad those first couple of games, but wow, when they stepped up, what a team they were, what a team they are, what a series that was.
Oh, man. Gut-wrenching if you're Complexity. I mean, honestly, you played a pretty great series, all things considered. Your only real downside was that one missed shot in overtime where you just didn't connect cleanly, but what a showcase for everybody, I think, in that series. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, wow, Leaf. I mean, we're somewhat in disbelief here. Are the results a little bit more normal than that series we just watched?
I mean, sort of, I suppose. They all went to, almost all going to game 5. We just finished all of those matches. Everything was in sync. We just finished all those at like the exact same time as this one ending here. We did have NRG finally getting there when it was game 5. It went well into overtime, 2 minutes into overtime, and they finally take down Axel. Axel almost had their number. G2 did get their win as well over Dignitas, but again, 1-goal games almost across the board for them. And the V126 Rising match, I actually just missed who won that one. It's not updated yet, but we do have Furia getting their win over Shopify Rebellion, which was, again, also a game 5. So yeah, across the board, a lot of intense matches.
Everything went as expected then. All the results. Yeah, easy, simple.
Predictable. Knew how that was going to play out.
Well, we have a lot more Rocket League.
You think we're going to win, we'll win. Yeah.
A lot more Rocket League to get to. That was just round 1. We still have round 2, 3, 4, and 5 to get through. So let's take a quick break and get our Rocket League on with it here in the North American Fall Invitational.